Hello dear viewers and welcome to T-World. Kindly hit the subscribe button and we will be on our way. In today's news, Donald Trump's representative has guaranteed that the January 6th committee twisted his words when they played a clasp of his declaration during Thursday late evening's hearing. Jason Miller, who was a senior helper to Trump and presently represents the previous president, was displayed during the meeting examining the second not long after the November 2020 political race when an information examiner said the Trump lobby hoped to have lost. Matt Oczkowski, a mission information master, told Trump on the call he planned to lose the political race in view of the political race returns. Miller affirmed the data was featured in light of the fact that it proposed that Trump went through months devising ways of upsetting a political decision he knew to be authentic. However, Miller, soon after the meeting, said the clasp was altered and did exclude his full comments. Mill operator's grievance came as it arose Ivanka Trump dismissed her dad's case as the 2020 political race was taken, and Republican Liz Cheney guaranteed she had proof Trump thought Mike Pence, his VP, should have been hanged. Trump's Attorney General Bill Barr additionally told the panel during their examination that he thought his old supervisor's misrepresentation claims were bulls and his charges about manipulated casting of ballot machines were hogwash and insane stuff. Jared Kushner thought White House counsel Pat Cipollone's steady dangers to leave over misrepresentation claims following January 6th were simply crying. It arose in one of a progression of recordings, including meetings and film of the assault scene. Interestingly, the panel spread out the series of disclosures in the formal proceeding that summarized 17 months of examination and in excess of 1,000 meetings with Trump assistants, agitators, and authorities who they guarantee were straightforwardly or by implication engaged with the mob. Liberals opened by saying January 6th was the zenith of an endeavored upset, saying that a vote-based system is in harm's way and conjured the Ku Klux Klan, subjugation, and lynching. Conservatives, in the interim, have called the hearings a display and an interruption for the outrages immersing the Biden organization. Among the disclosures was that Trump's chief of staff, Mark Meadows, told chairman of the Joint Chiefs Mark Milley on January 6 that he needed to lay out a story that Trump was still in control and kill the idea that Pence was pursuing every one of the choices. Cheney said there was proof Trump said Pence should have been hanged, condemned him for watching the mob unfurl from the lounge area in the White House, and said different individuals from her own party, including Rep. Scott Perry, looked for pardons for their own part in endeavoring to upset the political race. A representative for Perry considered the cases a funny, silly, and a completely cruel falsehood. That's what she added. During the hearings, the public will find out about Trump Bureau individuals contending that the 25th Amendment ought to be utilized to eliminate him from office, and proof that he didn't call the National Guard on January 6th. The Board of Trustees uncovered video declaration of agitators guaranteeing Trump called them to the Capitol, saw video of staff members escaping Republican leader Kevin McCarthy's office as the assault unfurled, and had a documentarian portray the activities of the Proud Boys. Council Chairman, Democratic Rep. Benny Thompson started the hearings by saying, "I'm from a piece of the nation where individuals supported the activities of bondage, the Ku Klux Klan, and lynching. I'm helped to remember that dim history as I hear voices today attempt and legitimize the activities of the insurrectionists on January 6, 2021. We made a solemn vow to guard the Constitution against all foes, unfamiliar and homegrown," he added, and said the vow was scrutinized. Donald Trump was at the focal point of that connivance. Furthermore, at last, Donald Trump, the leader of the United States, prodded a crowd of homegrown foes of the Constitution to walk down to the Capitol and undermine American majority-rule government, Thompson said. He additionally scrutinized Trump for attempting to stop the move of force by contrasting words from Abraham Lincoln saying he would surrender the reins of the U.S. government in the event that he lost the political decision. Thompson then diverted to declaration from Barr shot during their examination where the previous head legal officer said, I had 3 conversations with the president that I can review. One was on November 23rd, one was on December 1st, and one was on December 14th, and I've experienced kind of the compromise of those conversations. Also, in that unique circumstance, I made it clear I disagreed with saying the political race was taken and putting out this stuff, which I told the president was bulls. Furthermore, I would have rather not been a piece of it. Also, that is one reason that went into choosing to leave when I did what I noticed. I think it was on December 1st. And how might we can't experience a daily reality such that where the office holder organization stays in power, in light of its view, when upheld by unambiguous proof that the political race that there was misrepresentation in the political decision, Barr likewise said that he told Trump Crusade authorities that electoral misrepresentation guarantee against Dominion casting of ballot machines was insane stuff and they were squandering their life on that. Cheney spread out what the public will hear during the January 6th council hearings, including claims the White House knew there was the potential for savagery. You will likewise hear that President Trump met with that bunch alone for a while under the steady gaze of White House legal counselors, and other staff found the gathering was there and raced to mediate, she said in her initial proclamation, somewhat more than an hour after Ms. Powell, Mr. Giuliani, Jen Flynn, and the others at long last gone out. President Trump sent the tweet on the screen currently, advising individuals to come to Washington on January 6th. Be there, he taught them. Will be wild, as you will see. This was a significant second, she added. This tweet started a chain of occasions, prompted making arrangements for what happened on January 6th, including by the Proud Boys who eventually drove the intrusion of the Capitol and the savagery on that day. She proceeded to specify the Proud Boys that have been arraigned for subversive connivance for their part in the assault, and said it was not actually the case that Trump wasn't cautioned about January 6th. There is still no proof that was the situation, albeit certain previous Trump authorities have contended they didn't expect savagery on Jan. 6. The proof recommends in any case, she said, as you will find in our hearings. The White House was getting explicit reports in the days paving the way to Jan. 6, including during President Trump's Ellipse rally, demonstrating that components in the group were getting ready for brutality at the Capitol. Cheney then portrayed declaration from an observer who said Trump knew about serenades to hang Mike Pence, mindful of the agitators' serenades to hang Mike Pence. The president answered with this opinion, perhaps our allies have the right thought. Mike Pence merits it, she said. Edwards informed the Board of Trustees regarding the second she was thumped oblivious during the mob, got back to obligation, and attempted to hang tight as agitators flooded forward. The official said it was disorder, conceded she wasn't prepared in battle and the battling was hand-to-hand. She additionally enlightened the advisory group regarding her granddad, who battled in the Korean War and lived with his other days with slugs and shrapnel in his legs, however not even once grumbled about his penance. Edwards experienced a horrendous cerebrum injury and has said she has since endured swooning spells and toiled discourse. I was known as a great deal of things on January 6, 2021 and the days later. I was considered Nancy Pelosi's canine, called uncouth, called a legend and a reprobate. I was known as a trickster to my country, my pledge and my constitution. In reality, I was none of those things. I was an American standing up close and personal with different Americans, asking myself, how often, many, many times, how we had arrived. I have been called names previously, yet never had my nationalism or obligation been raised doubt about. I, who got up each day, regardless of how early the hour or how late I got in the prior night, to put on my uniform and to safeguard America's image of a majority rules system. I, who spent endless hours in the baking sun and freezing snow to ensure that America's chosen authorities had the option to take care of their business. I, whose exacting hard labor were shed that day shielding the structure that I went through endless occasions and ends of the week working in. Edwards said, in his recorded declaration. Milley told the advisory group it was Pence who maintained that the National Guard should come in and subdue the brutality on January 6th. And afterward Meadows advised him to say it was Trump who needed reinforcement. VP Pence. There were a few calls with Vice President Pence, Milley said. He was exceptionally enlivened, and he gave extremely unequivocal, exceptionally immediate, unambiguous orders. There was no doubt about that, Milley said in his meeting. He was extremely enlivened, exceptionally immediate, exceptionally firm to Secretary Miller. Get the tactical down here. Get the gatekeeper down here. Put down this present circumstance. And whatnot, he added, highlighting Pence. He then, at that point, went on to portray his calls with Meadows that day. He said, we need to kill the account that the VP is settling on every one of the choices. We want to lay out the story, you know, that the president is still in control and that things are consistent or stable, or some statements along those lines, Milley said in his declaration. I quickly deciphered that as governmental issues. Legislative issues, legislative issues. Warning for me, by and by. No activity, however. I recollected unmistakably, he added. The board has talked with in excess of 1,000 individuals, including Trump helpers and agitators, who they misrepresent.
If you made it to the end of the video, kindly hit the subscribe button and leave a comment. It helps the channel.